we'll do that. Okay, so we're recording
Nice,
now.
Joel.
Joel's got a background.
I didn't know you could do that.
So just a little intro. So Dom and Sean, when you're watching this, we're just gonna start here and discuss a few things. Anyways, I mean, a lot of this is just to connect with you guys. We didn't get our sort of end of the year cross country meeting that we normally do, which is always a meeting I look forward to. So this is what it is. But just looking to connect. I mean, they're encouraging us to just connect via Zoom. And the reason I didn't invite everybody is it just gets a little crowded in these Zoom meetings. So I figured I was inviting all sort of the upperclassmen, being like people that are going to be juniors or seniors, is what I sort of determined. And we'll connect with the rest of them another time, or maybe we'll connect as a whole group another time. But I figured, as we start to like brainstorm next year, I guess that's really what we're gunning for. I had a few sort of like ideas, specifications, things like that for just how to move forward for the next 5 months. I mean, right now, as we look towards cross country, like we're looking at a pretty long time. What does that look like for training? What does that look like for you guys? So why don't y'all just give me a quick update on how you've been doing the past week or so? Just anything really, short or not short. How class has been online, home routine. We'll start with Beckhorn because he's the first in my line of people.
Pretty good. Been doing my homework, and I've been running. I don't know, just pretty simple.
Okay. Keeping in touch with your girl?
What?
Keeping in touch with your girl?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Haynes, you're next on my line.
Things have been going pretty well so far. I took a few days off running, but now I'm back into easy runs soon. So hopefully I can just keep up that schedule.
Sure. D-Bell?
Yeah, I took 6 days off after the pancake run, so I've been going since Friday. So I ran Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday. And my next day off will be this Sunday, and then I'll be back to 6-day weeks as normal. So I got 7 miles in last night, a little cold towards the end. And so I'm getting back up to what'll probably be comfortable 45, 50-mile weeks. And then as we get closer, I'll start to probably hit higher mileage.
Okay.
I
Academics?
Oh, sorry.
You staying on academics? How are those going?
Yeah. I mean, one of my classes is already done because it was just a half semester online, and I got an A- in that. And then
good.
My sports ministry class have B-, and that one was already supposed to be online. So I'm only having 4 classes moved to online. I think I'll do well all 4 of them.
Okay. Well, you guys make sure you're keeping in touch with D-Bell about the academics. I'm not trying to call you out necessarily, but
Yeah, no problem.
Right now, looking forward, you're a big part of what we're doing next year and stuff. So Joel's next in my line of things. I can see half his face. The other half is like a mountain.
It's weird green screen type thing. I think it does, but
cool.
I've mainly been hanging out, like run a couple times. I mean, some of it is just getting everything sorted back to normal, just getting back in the swing of life.
Yeah, sure.
Like online classes, it's not easier or harder, just different.
Sure. Okay. All right, Evan.
Nothing crazy. I had 1 Zoom class yesterday, like no Zoom classes or like any classes today, just some work for that. And then, I ran, I think 5 miles yesterday. I was going to try to do a little longer one today.
Okay. So a lot of professors are doing Zoom classes. Is that kind of the thing? I mean, just having everyone meet via Zoom and just do regular class. Is that sort of what a lot of teachers are doing?
I personally have 2 of my 4 teachers doing it, and one of them's they're both Monday, Wednesday classes, and one of them's doing it only on Mondays, and one of them's doing it only on Wednesdays.
Okay.
And my other 2 classes aren't using Zoom. They're just either screen recording a PowerPoint, or I don't know what the 4th teacher's doing. I think they are still deciding.
Okay. So a little bit of both, sounds like.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I think like, and from my point of view, this last week, especially running wise, I mean, a bit all over the place, which is fine. I mean, I don't know. I think for some people, it was a clear, you guys are a bit different than I think a lot of sports where that clear cut sort of like leaving is almost, it's hard mentally to kind of like keep going when your season's been canceled and there's no peak race, you know? So like, I get it. I wasn't trying to stay on top of people. And even in my email on Monday, as you read, like, I don't know. It's just like, I'm willing to go as detailed or not detailed as you want. If you want specific minutes and things, but you know, it's just tough. Everyone being home and so disconnected and stuff. So I think like, yeah, we're looking forward for the next 5 months. So I was trying to think of how that looked like. And I think like there's a couple ways to approach it. Like right now for you guys, I would say the biggest priority is just consistent and just building mileage. I mean, honestly, I sent a few workouts out. You know, if you're someone who needs those to kind of keep engaged and look forward to getting a workout and a hard effort on the track, great. I would say this is a unique opportunity we have to sort of build aerobic base that like a lot of you have spent some time building, but even like Evan, you know, for example, like you haven't been always able to handle as much mileage. Like this is a good chance to like get some higher mileage in, easy running, you know, and not worry as much about like what those workouts look like, you know, going into your senior year. That's a great opportunity for that. So you see what I'm saying? So I'd love to stay in touch with you guys if you want. If you want to email me, update me. Some of you are on Strava. I would recommend like Haynes and Joel and Evan getting on Strava. I don't know. Are you like against it or something, or is it just one? I've heard Dave Russo is like against it or something. I don't know.
I have Strava.
You have Strava. I mean, I love running ahead. It's like that's still probably what we'll primarily use, but Strava's been cool just to see people's updates and detailed runs, and there's like a leaderboard on the group and stuff like that. It's been kind of cool to talk some trash through that, you know. I sent Tyler a picture, just not being hour on the top of the leaderboard, and I said, "Welcome to the big leagues." And he didn't like that, but so anyways, so I think over the next few weeks, like just work on building mileage. And honestly, like workouts are great, but like build that volume up. And one thing I wanted to talk to the long distance group about, and not even just long distance group, but in general was we never really got to talk about it was E8s and some things like that. And so touching on that now, you know, that didn't go incredibly well for us as a group, as a whole. It wasn't terrible in some senses. It's not like every race or every performance in those 3 and 5Ks were bad. It's just as a whole, we looked tired. We looked a little out of it, you know. And you know, I know Evan, you're sitting over there with your indoor PR in the 5K, so that was solid. But and so I was trying to put my finger on what had happened, and so I think what I sort of determined was, I think in some sense, and maybe I was telling Joel about this when we ran together. I can't remember, but I think we pushed a little hard. You know, I think we got to a point where you guys were just loving eating up workouts and, you know, doing hard efforts and things like that. And I think I got a bit aggressive with some of the training and away from some of the basics that got us to where we had been. And so, yeah, like Joel had even said, like, well, we all PR'd during the indoor season and most things. And that's true. I just think by the time we got to the end, we were a little out of gas, you know. I think that in combination with pushing some of our easy runs the way we had, and I don't have a ton of collective evidence on that, just a few logs I saw and some things on Strava that I saw that was like, I wonder if we're, you know, even D-Bell, like probably don't need to be spending a lot of time in the 6s, you know, in easy runs. Like
I usually didn't either, but
and it's not like a huge deal until it is. And I think it got to the point where, again, just by E8s, we were just a little bit gassed, just a little bit of stringing together some efforts like that. So I don't know if you guys have any feedback on that, but that's sort of how I assess things. And that's why over break, I was really kind of chill about training, because it was like, let's take some time to just sort of mentally refocus and get your bodies rested. Any thoughts on that analysis from indoor? No? Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think we had talked about it a little bit in the immediate aftermath of E8s. And I think pushing the easy runs probably, along with maybe some extended efforts and workouts, maybe pushing each other in a workout like it was a race. But
yeah, I mean, and some workouts can be pushed like that, but some are supposed to be just a little bit gas left in the tank. So anyways, as we approach that and think about XC, I'm wondering how to train smarter, you know what I mean, and not necessarily harder all the time. But we got 5 months. So I would treat the next several weeks sort of like we're finishing track, and we'll sort of take our time off normally, probably in May, for a few weeks before we build, and we'll probably start our regular build up in June. I don't really see that changing with this. So that's a little bit from a training perspective. From a organizational perspective for next year, I wanted to tell you about the tentative schedule that I had put together for cross country. And there's still some space for some, it's not set in stone or anything, but we're going to be running at home again for our short course invite. Okay. But it's not necessarily going to be a twilight. But it might just be just a regular short course. And that's going to be on the 4th of September. Does anybody want to put themselves on mute if you got a lot of people talking in the background? No? Is that back on? Okay. No big deal. So the 4th, we'll open up with a short course, and we'll have sort of some regular teams coming there, Roberts and RIT and Cuca and the Alfreds and stuff like that. We're actually not going to Penn State Behrend next year. 2 weeks after that meet is going to be the pre-regional meet at U of R. So it's a little bit earlier, but regionals is going to be at University of Rochester. So we'll go there on, I think it's the 19th of September. Then we'll compete again at home for our Highlander invite. Okay. Then 2 weeks after that, there's actually a meet called, it's like the Canisius Alumni Classic or something like that. It's actually up at Delaware Park in Buffalo. Anybody ever been to Delaware Park? The zoo's up there. No, I guess a lot of you guys aren't really from around there. It's pretty flat. It's kind of this open grass park. There's like a little golf course on it. It goes around the zoo and some other stuff like that. Dave Richards and I ran a meet there. We just went up and ran. You guys were on break in 2016, and we ran in that invite, and it was a pretty cool race. So I figured that would be a good 2 weeks out from E8s. Then 2 weeks from that is E8s. So it's actually one less meet normally than we have. I don't know where we can fit another one in, or if we want to, or if just that sort of every other week clean cut thing is what we want to do. So any thoughts on schedule? Pretty much means the 4th, U of R, home, Canisius, E8s. So that's 5 meets, including E8s, 6 if you're regional. Usually we'd have one more in there, but yeah, any thoughts on that? No? Okay.
I like the sound of it.
Okay. So that's the schedule. Yeah, I don't know, just what other thoughts do you guys have about sort of the upcoming weeks, training-wise through the summer? I mean, like I said, we got a long time away. Assuming you guys are staying connected, just, I don't know, do you guys text or WhatsApp or Strava or what other social media? I mean, is there a common way you guys have been connecting?
We're all in that Snapchat group chat together.
Gotcha.
That has people that just graduated along with Matt Kostomski and then all the current runners.
Okay. That's pretty active, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? I mean, 5 months away. How are you guys feeling? Just about everything. I mean, school, running, coming back. I mean, what's the general mood? Backhorn?
I don't know, man. Just stay running, I guess.
Okay, great thoughts.
I miss racing personally.
Yeah.
Because I'll even hop into a road race every now and then if I'm itching to race, but all those are canceled because of Corona. So I guess the workouts will be a nice substitute for that. I have actually run 2 of my runs with Christian. So
Okay.
I think he'll do at least one of the workouts with me, but he's just looking to do base right now.
Okay.
But between the workouts, then looking at what everyone's running on Strava, even Tyler and John, it's been nice to keep me in the mood of running at least, but I'm ready.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I think this is good. Trust me, I would have rather done outdoor track. I mean, no doubt about that. But since we're in this position, honestly, there's a couple of examples, and I would never promote this, but there's a couple of kids who have gone abroad during their 4 years here who have come back and just ran awesome. Anna Hardiman is one. Olivia Donato is one. And I would never be yeah, go abroad so you get a mental refresher. But honestly, I think that's what it was. I just think it was just a reset for them, and they came back and they were just more refocused and motivated. So in some sense, it's we got a little chip on our shoulder. You get to reset a little bit. Like, obviously we can't just like take a bunch of time off right now, but at the same time, you know, there's a little chance here to sort of just reset your minds to come back. Yeah, honestly, like a little bit ready to go. You know, it's not as depressed, and I think that's okay. I think that's all right. It's not typically the way I think. It's not typically the way we have our seasons, but I think it's okay. There's all this talk about 18 months for this thing. I don't know. Can't even predict like what that means, but like, it's hard to believe that's the case. But I mean, until they come up with, that's when they say they might have a vaccine and testing and things like that. So I don't know. I don't think anybody's planning for, you know, school not starting back up in the fall, but I guess it's a possibility, you know. But point is, you guys are sort of the team next year, and I think like if you're sitting here and we're not thinking that we can come out next year and win the conference, I don't know what we're thinking. I mean, I don't know who's bringing in who, or like, you know, Bernie's gone from Fisher, you know, I don't know if Naz is actually they losing anybody. Did they have any seniors in there?
Selecki a senior, I think.
I thought it was a junior, but I could be
Oh no, you
wrong.
meant junior.
Um,
Yeah, they might
you
be
know,
all non-seniors then.
You know, Mitch Marlowe and Engelhart. I mean, you know, and obviously we
I
lose.
think Englehart's a junior.
Really? I thought it was a
Yeah, I
senior.
believe so.
Yeah, he's our year.
He's your year? Okay. Well, either way, I mean, like, I don't know. You know, obviously losing Tyler and John are tough. We knew that was going to happen, but I mean, call me crazy, but I kind of feel like we still have the personnel to go in there and compete for a title. Does anybody, I mean, that validating? Do we feel that way too?
I definitely look at it that way. I have been thinking of it recently.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Naz has kind of always been all over the place. I mean, they've had a pretty good year. They've got some good runners, but they've been a little bit up and down just in the past. You know, Fisher's not very deep. They never are. You know, so what does that mean losing Bernie? Ford is kind of you never really know what he's going to do. So, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like we got to go in with that mindset. I was talking to some guys. We've got one solid guy. We've got a couple committed, but we've got one solid guy committed now. I mean, for next year, we've got still several in the works. I mean, just several people that are still deciding. I don't know how this whole thing affects them. I mean, some of them we're still hoping to visit. So it's like, what does that mean? I don't know. We might not know for a while. But there's one kid who I could see come in and make an immediate impact. Actually, two kids I could see come in and make an immediate impact. But the nice thing is we've got a bunch of solid vets who, like, unless we get some really, really stud recruit, they're not coming in and probably scoring for us, you know, with some of you guys and who we have sort of returning. So I think we're still going to rely heavily on that. Last thing I want to know is, how do you guys feel about like volume progressions? I mean, what I kind of need to know from you is what do you feel comfortable hitting, you know, through the summer in terms of your peak? You know, I know for someone like Joel, we may hit some high weeks in there in the summer, and he's going to be maybe a little bit plateaued through the school year as he figures out student teaching. I don't know if Evan's in the same boat there too or not, but no.
I'm student teaching in the spring.
Okay. And I don't know what that looks like for you, Joel, in terms of like what during the year seems reasonable. We might not know that until we get there, you know, and you're kind of going day to day. But so talk to me a little bit about that. You know, what, and I don't just want to hear numbers just to hear numbers. I mean, what seems reasonable? I mean, you might be someone who's like, shoot, I can handle more. I can hit a few big weeks in the summer. You might be someone who's like, I kind of not realistic for me. So let's go through and talk about that. Dylan Beckhorn, we'll start with you.
I don't know. I was thinking like 45s to start off with, and then trying to get up to maybe a 60-mile week, like during the summer or this 5 months, and then stay around there until like in the beginning of cross or something like that, or preseason.
Like preseason, hit a big week, and then
summer.
Okay. I think that's a good progression for you. I mean, you saw how those couple of 55-mile weeks were in your legs there for a little bit, but I think like if you can build up now, and even I'd say even if you can experiment a bit and hit, you know, something like well into the 50s and 60, like before May, you know, in May, like by late April, May, and then you get your time off, you can kind of see how you respond to that. That'd be a good idea.
Okay.
You know, Haynes.
Mm, I'm not totally sure. Probably average of like 4 to 5 miles a day to start off with, and then try getting in a couple of higher mileage weeks.
What does higher mileage for you look like? I'm not, like I said, just
Yeah,
reasonably.
I don't know, probably not anything too crazy, but
Like a couple of 40s, 40. I mean, 40, 45s. I wouldn't
yeah,
want to go too
probably
much higher than
something
that.
like that.
Okay. Deval.
Yeah, I'm ready to take another step, and I think that with all this time, I'll probably experiment maybe, and at the end of May hit a 60 because I haven't hit one of those since either preseason or maybe one after preseason. So maybe hit 60 early in the summer, go back to 50, make 50 feel really comfortable. Because I've been like length in the long run, and then maybe do a couple, like 1 or 2 short doubles a week if I feel like it.
Okay.
And then if I can hit 50 pretty comfortably, then maybe I'll hit a 65 or 74 preseason because I hit
Okay.
60 last preseason. If I
Maybe
can hit
peak.
that, maybe peak at 70 or 65. Then the rest of cross can probably look like 55.
Yeah.
If
I'm
50 is
okay
flat.
with plateauing a bit more during the season. You know, I think like September is an easy month to push because there's still a long time. But I wonder with this group, especially like if plateauing a bit more. And like I said, one compliment to you guys is you train so hard, and like it seems day to day like you guys love it and push. But like I wonder if we can start a little bit further out if we have a good summer. Now, if you don't have a good summer, we got to make up some ground. So we got to be honest about what that looks like through the summer, right? Joel?
For like high point in the summer, I want to be a little bit higher than last year, just keeping with that progression.
Yeah.
But for like
You're
prior to
like
going
70,
into
75, maybe hit a peak of the 70, 75 mile week.
last year I had a couple 70s.
You had a couple 70s, so okay. So we could hit a couple 75s maybe towards in August or something.
But prior to like true summer training, I just kind of want to work up, get super comfortable with like those 55, 60s.
Yeah.
And because normally, what is that? First week of June when you have a startup and Prosper, there's like a slow build up. I'd like to just jump right in.
Yeah, and we'll I mean, I'll send all that out, and you guys just gotta like, people don't like communicate a lot about that, but if you want to start higher, if you just talk. Like I'm sitting here waiting to talk to you guys about all this stuff, and I'm figuring when no one says anything, we're good. So like, let me know, if you like the way it looks or not, Evan.
I kind of want to get, over the next probably month or whatever, hitting between 35 or 40 mile weeks on 5 days.
Okay.
Just give myself an extra day, probably in the middle of the week, so the legs kind of recover a little bit.
Okay.
And then possibly like end of April, try to hit a 50.
That'd be good for you to see how you respond to that,
Yeah.
I like the idea of 5 days for you, you know what I mean? And so have your like per day average up with just that extra recovery day. That's what Sean McKennedy from Geneseo did, 5 days a week of training, that can work for some people. So, yeah. And I think the big thing for the summer too is like, I'm not opposed to doing some of those tempos when we get to school, but I'd like to get most of those in during the summer. You know what I mean? So we can come back and hit some more threshold work and CV and stuff like that. Instead of, I mean, it's still kind of, I loved when we did that 7 mile tempo on the turf last year, maybe like more like right when we get there, but I mean, I don't want to do a ton of those, and stuff like that. So cool. What else? I know it's tough. Like right now you guys just look like you're in home mode, sort of like me. I could go take a nap right now if I wanted to, and so it's tough to think about all this, but, any other thoughts, general moods? I mean, like I said, I'm sort of honed in towards the fall. We got a long way to go, so I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but at the same time, like, starting to anticipate that a little bit hereby, So anything else from you guys? Comments, questions, just general discussion? You know, how often should we do something like this?
I like it. I think
Every couple weeks,
even-
every other week, just meet for
I'd like every other
20,
week.
30 minutes.
Yeah. I think something like that would be good.
Yeah, every week seems a bit overkill this far out, but every other week would be good, and maybe include some of the younger guys in there too. Just for now, I wanted to get some of the leaders of the team together, because like I think the big thing too is, and I think the thing is, like, our team doesn't have to look like it did last year, even emotionally. And I mean, I'm just thinking of like a Tyler who, I mean, he was a great emotional leader, hyped everyone up, like stuff like that. Like I was watching the season video that Ethan made the other day, and like when you guys are in the middle of the circle, he's in the middle of the circle going, like that just gives me chills, like at the beginning of that video. And like we need to get that type of stuff, but like it's not like we need to be the same team, but I need you guys to start thinking about what does your leadership look like. You know, it might be a bit more of a quiet year, and I don't mean that in a good or bad way. I just mean like it might be a little bit, a little bit more stoic in nature. But how does this blend of leaders look for next year, and leading things, and that sort of thing? What kind of strengths do you bring to the table? That's something you got to start thinking about, because reality is whether it's all of you or just a few of you, we need some people to take the reins and make sure we're focused and ready to go, and the day-to-day is happening, and that we're not apathetic and stuff. And Joel's been someone that's been around for a long time, like Evan and Dom and Dylan, but he's going to be student teaching. What does that look like? You know what I mean? Joel's going to have energy, but like, there might be some days Joel just needs to turn off his brain and run. um, Beckhorn and Haynes and Dave Russo coming up as juniors. You can look towards the seniors, but I think that you guys have just as much of a chance to be a part of this leadership too. So brainstorm that a little bit. What does your role look like? Okay. But yeah, thanks for checking in. We're about the half-hour mark now. I'll send something else out maybe next week, or maybe do you guys have like calendars that you check? Do you check your calendars? Like if something's on there, if they send out like a meeting invite, recurring meeting invite, you check that? Is that a good way?
I don't have enough on my plate to have to check a calendar, but I write important stuff in my notes and I check that daily.
I just mean like if I send a recurring invite, so it's like, okay, every other week at this time, that's when our Zoom is.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that'd work for me, like every other Tuesday or something.
yeah, and I don't need to. I mean, I can send out a reminder when it gets close, but I don't need to like send something out every other week saying, okay, this, it's just like this day, this time we meet. You can make it great. Obviously, if something comes up, it comes up. It's not like class or something, but okay, I'll do that. All right, well, it's good to see you guys. Stay in touch as you need to, and yeah, good luck in classes and stay in touch. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, later on.